Well, I thought today would be a great day to do some vehicle walkarounds. I've been behind on those, some things have changed here, and got a couple vehicles to do walkarounds on, and so let's get to it. You've seen this video before, this car before. This is the one me and Uncle Phil took down the road. And I bought this a while back. This is a 1973 Mercedes 220D, which means diesel. I've wanted one of these for quite a long time. I just never could find one close by, and I never could find a manual transmission. I didn't want any automatic. But it's just a pretty much original old car. It does have some minor problems, but those will be the subject of some videos coming up. But I'll give you the once around, twice around. It's got, I think it's got the original paint on it. It is fairly rust free. I wouldn't say all the way at all. It's got some areas that are starting. But it's very original. It's got a spot right down there starting. It's got, I'll tell you, it has several common. This is a W115 chassis, and it's got several common issues that they have, and it's just what happens with them. But it's got some starting here. This is a little more involved, and this is going to have to be dealt with first. These seals tend to dry out on the windows, and they start passing water, and that's not good. It's got a little bit of cheese starting right there on the bottom of that quarter. But the trim's all here. It's got the flat tail lights, the early style tail lights. It's got the early style bumpers, factory bumpers. I had to take the latch out of this trunk lid because it was, I don't know if I can, yeah, hang on, yeah. Had to take the latch out of this trunk lid. It's in here because somebody already changed it, looks like, and they had to take the original out, and it looks like they had to take it out by force there. And I noticed when I was trying to use the key on it, it wouldn't work. I had to jiggle with it, and finally I could just strike the right spot and it would unlatch. So I didn't want to deal with that right now, so I went ahead and just remove that, and I'll just see about getting that one either rekeyed or buying another one, which I have the right key to. I do that. But it had some parts with it. It has the washer bottle, a couple hubcaps, some jumper cables, hard lines for the fuel injection. Like I said, a couple of tires. Not too good a shape. It's got a later style wheel there, but that's probably the original spare under there. Just odds and ends, stuff you find in a used car. Pieces of trim. The trunk is so-so. It's not got too much rust through at all. It's got one little spot there, but that's where it's actually, there's like a little circular plate that's right there, but it's going to need some work on it soon because it's had water in it. So owning one of these cars, everybody says, is just a continual effort to keep them from rusting. It's got, this door is going to need some work here. It's got a rust spot starting there. It's got one that's through right here. The floors are pretty decent on it. They've got some cheese in them in little spots here at the back and up at the front, but nothing major, nothing large. The upholstery in this car, I guess it's probably had upholstery replaced in it because it is super nice. Back deck looks good. The that thing looks good. Oh, I didn't know that was working with a light. It sure does. I'll tell you a fun story about that light here in just a second. Carpet's decent. It's really solid in here. Seats and everything are real nice. Door panels are nice. Got a few little age cracks right here. And I don't know what that is got on the windows. I'm going to clean that off. But the doors open and shut very nicely. That, you saw that pocket right there, that's just plastic. Somebody may have replaced this door panel at one time. It looks like it's been re-dyed. It's got pretty nice upholstery here. I'll show you where the only real issue is here in just a minute with the upholstery. Good glass. A little bit more rust starting up here. This paint is very old. It's starting to kind of crack a little bit in spots. This car did not have fog lights originally. You can install them, but this one didn't come with it. They were optional. It's got good tires on it. This is the plug for the block heater. And this horn is not the right horn. Somebody just added that on there. It does work, but the horns are supposed to be mounted up under the car here. So show the engine. We'll see if we can do this side also. This is the only spot in the upholstery. Right here is one, and right here it's been patched. So look here, you kind of already seen this. Dash is in good shape. This is a cap. What's under it just got normal cracks and stuff like that, so no big deal there. Looks nice. Clock does not work. It runs, but you can't. It doesn't do any timekeeping. Instruments, that's one of the areas that's going to need a little bit of work. They all work except for the clock, but there's no instrument panel lights, and that's also a common thing. It's a little rheostat that's back here goes bad. So I'll be pulling that out and repairing that. I'll show you that in the video. It's got air conditioning. It's all there. It did work. He doesn't know. It may need a charge. 4-speed manual transmission. It's got the original Becker Europa cassette. I haven't got the radio to work yet. Of course, I haven't tried either, but looks original. This is your cigarette lighter. This is your balance for your speakers, front to rear, I guess, or left to right, one or the other. This is for the, I think that's for the, I don't remember what that's for. It might be a rear defogger. I think it's got one. Yeah, it does. You got a light up here. The little story I was going to tell you about that back light back there. If you watch, there's a switch over here. I didn't realize what it did, but when we got this car, that light was stuck on. It had run the battery down. If you flip this switch, you can see that light illuminates. So that was that was kind of neat to figure that one out. Of course, this is your ignition switch. And you already saw the video about the pull start and all that. I don't have to explain that, but this is your fast idle. This is your windshield wipers over here. You have a 3-part switch here. This is first position, second position. That's high. And then to turn them on, you simply hit it. And it goes back off. Got the lighter there I showed you in the ashtray. This car, German cars of this age are known for things that don't work when you have the key off. The brake lights don't work when you have the key off. The horn does not honk when you have the key turned off. It's pretty interesting. It's got some wires hanging down. They've been cut off here and there. I don't know exactly what that's about, but I figured part of it has to do with this fasten seat belts and the door buzzer, because apparently it's very irritating and people disconnect them. I don't know about the heater fan on this one. It's probably gonna need some work. Anybody that has one of these cars is familiar with them knows that the heater fan motor, it's got 2 fan motors. It has one for the air conditioning, which is here, and then it's got defrost up here, label on that, but that's the heater fan, separate fans. And this is your this is your climate control. And anybody that can't figure this out right away, don't feel bad, because I still haven't figured it completely out. But apparently this one turns on and off your airflow to your defroster. This turns on and off the airflow to the floor. This regulates the temperature for the defroster, which this appears to not be connected. And this is for the floor, and that's one of the issues also. The heater does not work. So I think this defroster right here, I think, oops, let me show you that. You see how that's labeled? I think that's a guide for how to put those levers to get defroster, but I still ain't got anything to come out of the defroster. And like I said, it's anybody's guess how many miles it has on it. This odometer is stopped. So it's reads 78,600 and some odd. It's probably turned over at least once or twice. Open the hood here. Yeah, well, this is just your basic 4-cylinder diesel engine. It's got an oil bath air cleaner, which needs to be serviced. This is your pre-filter for your fuel injection, and that's your main filter. And I can see that pre-filter is going to have to be changed pretty soon. It's getting some junk in it, so you can see that. It's kind of, see that junk in there. You got to watch that. That's your injection pump there. It's your manual primer right down there. I replaced that thing with the, I showed you that. And what else? Let's just show you. I got a little bit of a leaking, either a line here or a turn line or something on this injector. I see it's a little wet. But anyway, just a basic car. It's just real basic. It runs pretty good. It'll run about 75 miles an hour flat out, which I don't run it that hard. But that's your heater valve right there. That thing with the 3 lines going into it. So that's another thing. These cars are just idiosyncratic, I guess. They got some things that are a little unusual, especially even for a diesel. But it does have a few issues, and I think like I said, I've showed you a couple of them. So I'll be fixing the heater if possible, rebuilding that heater valve if possible. And what else? Oh yeah. This thing, the worst thing about it is it's been going through a lot of oil. I mean, a lot of oil. Even for a diesel, it's been going through a lot of oil. And what I think's going on is I think the vacuum pump is failing on it. And it's drawing, this is the exhaust for the vacuum pump, and I think it's drawing oil up into the intake manifold, because I gotta explain that in another video. It's too much to explain here, but I see there's looks like some residue. That's the line right there off the vacuum pump that goes to the manifold. And I pulled the one off the, let's see if I can show you real quick here. When I did that, I pulled the one off up here going to the brake booster, and you see it's got oil in it, and that's not supposed to happen. So what I think's going on, I noticed my power brakes are not working that good either, so I think the vacuum pump diaphragm's got a little hole in it, and it's probably not real huge yet, but it's got one, and it's probably drawing oil up into the intake, and that's probably contributing to that oil use. But we're going to dig into that here soon. I'm going to take this out to eat lunch here in a little bit, and I was going to go take a look at something today, but I haven't heard back from the people, so I may not do that. That's the way it always goes. But yeah, I'll do a walk around to that car. I'll tell you, let this guy go by here. I know this is severely contrasting apples and oranges, comparing apples and oranges and stuff, I guess, but even as old as it is, this is so much more of a car than that car is. It's unreal. Just not in the same league. I'll be doing a walk around on this soon. But anyway, talk to you soon, guys.